Today we will be discussing the first chapter of entrepreneurship of class 11th, which is concepts and functions. You're watching Learn from Lucifer. So in the first chapter we need to know the concepts of entrepreneurship and the meaning of entrepreneur, so you could learn who is an entrepreneur and what is an entrepreneurship. The concept of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneur is a person, entrepreneurship is a process or action, and the enterprise is the outcome. Entrepreneurship is the ability and readiness to develop, organize, and run a business enterprise along with any of its uncertainties in order to make a profit. The most prominent example of entrepreneurship is starting of a new business. In economics, entrepreneurship is connected with land, labor, natural resources, and capital can generate a profit. The entrepreneurial vision is defined by discovering and risk-taking and is an indispensable part of the nation's capacity to succeed in an ever-changing and more competitive global marketplace. The meaning of entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is defined as someone who has the ability to and desire to establish, administer, and succeed in a startup venture along the risk entitled to it to make profits. The entrepreneurs are often known as a source of new ideas or innovator and bring new ideas in the market by replacing old with a new invention. It can be classified into small or home business or multinational companies in economics. In a nutshell, anyone who has the will and determination to start a new company and deals with all the risk entitled can become an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is a person who develops and owns his own enterprise, is a moderate risk taker, and works under uncertainty for achieving the goal. Is innovative, is a persuader of deviant pursuits, is determined but patient, exhibits a sense of leadership, takes personal responsibilities, is oriented towards the future, tends to persist in the face of adversity. An entrepreneur is a person who starts an enterprise and converts a situation into opportunity. He or she searches for change and responds to it. A number of definitions have been given of an entrepreneur. The economists view him or her as a fourth factor of production along with land, labor, and capital. Definitions of an entrepreneur by Richard Cantillon. As a person who pays a certain price to a project to resell it at an uncertain price, thereby making decisions about obtaining and using the resources while consequently admitting the risk of enterprise. Entrepreneurship may be defined as a systematic innovation which consists of purposeful and organized search of changes and a systematic analysis of the opportunities and such change might offer for economic and social transformation. Enterprise. An entrepreneur is a person who starts an enterprise. The process of creation is called entrepreneurship. The entrepreneur is the actor and the entrepreneurship is the act. The outcome of the actor and the act is called the enterprise. An enterprise is an business organization that is formed and which provides goods and services, creates jobs, contributes to national income, exports, and contributes to the overall economic development. Entrepreneur versus entrepreneurship. The term entrepreneur is often used interchangeable with entrepreneurship, but conceptually they are different, yet they are just like the two sides of a coin. Both the terms are correlated. An entrepreneur is a person who bears the risk, unites various factors of production, and carries out creative innovations. He or she is an individual or one of a group of individuals who try to create something new. He or she always attempts to bring about change in terms of factor proportions, which is known as innovation. On the contrary, entrepreneurship is a set of activities performed by an entrepreneur. It is process of identifying opportunities in the marketplace and marshalling the resources required to pursue these opportunities for long-term gains. It is the attempt to create values. Functions of an entrepreneur. There are four types of functions of an entrepreneur: entrepreneurial functions, promotional function, managerial function, and commercial functions. Entrepreneurial function: innovation. As an innovator, the entrepreneur has to introduce new combinations of the means of production, new products, new market for a product, and new sources of raw material. Risk taking. It refers to taking responsibilities for a loss that may occur due to unforeseen contingencies in the future. Organization building. Organization and management are the main functions of an entrepreneur. They refer to the bringing together of the various factors of production. This purpose is to allocate the productive resources in order to minimize losses and reduce cost of production. Promotional functions. Discovery of an idea. The entrepreneur visualizes that there are opportunities for a particular type of business and it can be profitable run. The idea may be to exploit new areas of natural resources, more profitable ventures, or an existing line of business. Detailed investigation. An entrepreneur will estimate the total demand for the product. After determining the prospective demand for a good, he or she will think of arranging finances for a venture, along with the availability of power, labor, raw materials, and machinery. Assembling the requirements. After making sure that the proposition is practical and profitable, the entrepreneur proceeds to assemble the requirements. He persuades some more people to join him on board. He may also be required to acquire some patent rights if he has intended something new. Facing the proposition. Entrepreneur decides about the capital structure of the enterprise. The requirements of finances are estimated first, then the sources from which money will come up are determined. Long-term and short-term financial requirements are estimated and the types of source of funds is also decided: share, debenture, loan, etc. For example, when Narayan Murthy started Infosys in 1981, he had no capital and his wife Sudha Murthy gave him rupees 10,000, which she had saved for a rainy day. Managerial function. Planning. It is a basic managerial function of an entrepreneur. It helps in determining the course of action to be followed to achieve various entrepreneurial objectives. Planning is concerned with the mental state of the entrepreneur. It is the decision making in advance: what to do, when to do, how to do, and who will do a particular task. Organizing. Every business enterprise needs the service of a number of persons to look after its different aspects. The entrepreneur sets up the objectives or goals to be achieved by its personnel. The function of organizing is to arrange, guide, coordinate, direct, and control the activities of the factors of production. Staffing. The function involves making appointments for the position created by the organizational process. It is concerned with the human resources of an enterprise. It consists of human resources, manpower planning, requirement selection and placement of manpower, human resources development, motion, transfers, appraisal and determination of employees' remuneration. Directing. It is concerned with carrying out the desired plans. It initiates organized and planned action and ensures effective performance by subordinates towards the accomplishment of group activities. Leadership. It is the process by which an entrepreneur imaginatively directs or guides and influences the work of others in choosing and attaining specified goals by mediating between the individual and organization in such a manner that both will get the maximum satisfaction. Communication. It constitutes a very important function of an entrepreneur. It is observed to be the most prevalent problem among entrepreneurs today. It refers to the exchange of ideas, feelings, emotions, knowledge, and information between two or more persons. Nothing happens in management until effective communication takes place. Motivation. It is the psychological process of creating an urge among the subordinates to do certain things or behave in the desired manner. The importance of motivation can be realized from the fact that the performance of a worker depends upon his or her ability and the motivation. A sound motivational system must be productive, competitive, comprehensive, and flexible, and it must consider the psychological, social, safety, ego, and economic needs of the worker. Supervision. After issuing instructions, the entrepreneur has to see that the given instructions are carried out. Supervision refers to the job of overseeing subordinates at work to ensure the maximum utilization of resources to get the required and directed work done and to correct the subordinates whenever they go wrong. Coordination. It is one of the most important functions as it is essential to channelize the activities of various individuals in the organization for the achievement of common goals. The entrepreneur has to make sure that the work is different segments in going according to predetermined targets and corrective measures have to be initialized if there is an deviation. Controlling. Control is a process which enables the entrepreneur to get his or her company's policies implemented and take corrective action if performance is not according to the predetermined standards. The process begins with establishing standards of performance, measuring actual performance, comparing an actual performance with the standard, finding variations, and finally taking corrective actions. Commercial functions. Production. It is the key function of an entrepreneur. The activities of production are independent of the size of the undertaking. In the small concern, one person may be undertaking this function, whereas in large organizations, this activity may be undertaken by various individuals or separate teams. This is a creation of goods and services. It consists of manufacturing, ancillary, and advisory activity. Finance. It is the most important aspect in all enterprises. It remains a focus to all business activities. The need for money continues. It starts with the setting up of an enterprise and remains at all times. The development and expansion of an enterprise rather needs more commitment for funds. It is the duty of the entrepreneur to look and analyze into the various sources of finance and appropriately arrange for them as and when required. Marketing. It is primarily concerned with the movement of goods and services from the producer to the ultimate consumer. It is directed towards the satisfaction of consumer wants. Marketing plays a significant role in promoting the well-being of the business enterprise. So it is the role of the entrepreneur to strategically place his company in an advantageous position to secure the top position in the market. Personnel. This function is concerned with employment, development, and compensation for the personnel and provisions for working conditions and welfare. Measures to maintain a good workforce in the organization. Accounting. It is defined as the systematic recording of entrepreneurial transactions of an enterprise and the financial position of the enterprises. The entrepreneur should look into the record keeping of the entries of all transactions which take place in the organization so that he or she is aware of his or her financial position. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.